What's up, guys? Shane here, Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, flippedlifestyle.com. I'm chilling at the office right now. Jocelyn's out running around to find the kids. Got a robot voice. Gonna lower my sound check here. Seeing what you guys are up to today. I had a interesting discussion that was going on inside of the Flip Your Life community that I wanted to share with you and get you guys to be a part of in the chat. I think I can actually show it. Let me show this here. Let me see if I can flip over. We'll get meta here. I'm going to flip over to my screen so you can actually read the post where this question come from. It's all about replacing your income. That's the question that came to my mind when I saw this post, this conversation going on inside of the Flip Your Life community. And I'm going to share this with you right now. All right, so a lot of times I'll jump into the community every day and find an interesting discussion, interesting topic to kind of go over here on YouTube. And this one wasn't at first about how to replace your income, but Ryan, I believe this is Ryan. I'm not sure if this was Sarah or Ryan, but Sarah and Ryan were posting inside the community today, the other day, and they said there's a lot of Jocelyn bombs and no sugar comments from Shane in the podcast, but what sticks out to you that you hear them say a lot? So this is kind of like, I guess, our catchphrases, or even things they say occasionally, but their words have helped you. Of course, there's the famous, it ain't got to be perfect. It's just got to be done. Someone correct me if I quoted that wrong. I corrected you. It's my quote, so I correct you. It was on the paper at Flip Your Life Live, guys. Come on. Anyway, it ain't got to be perfect. It just got to be done, which is our way of saying, just do it. Just do the thing. Just take action. One of my favorites, though, is totally not a quote, but they say a version of it doesn't matter how the gurus do it. Just do what you think you do, test it, and see what works with your audience. I often think of myself years ago or how I was scared to do things wrong because some famous podcaster said it in a certain way. Shane Jocelyn gave us permission to not care what others think, and that helped them move forward in their business. Well, then Eva, another Flip Your Life member, commented and said, some of my favorites are, what's the worst that can happen? And then this quote right here is the one that really stuck out in my mind. There are like 7 billion people in the world. You only need X number to flip your life. And that is actually, I actually jumped in this conversation later on in the thread and said, if I could pick one thing that we say, one thing that we teach that I wish every single person would grab onto and believe with all of their heart, it's that quote. There's like 7 billion people. All you got to do is pick a few and you can make a living. Okay. And the reason that is because that's the quote, or that's the formula, the magic formula that started our entire online business, that started our entire journey down this rabbit hole that led to this amazing flipped lifestyle that we lead today. And, if I could convince anyone watching this video who wants to replace their income, who wants to quit their job, who wants to have more freedom, who wants to be self-employed, who wants to work from home, if I could convince you to believe anything that we say, it's believe that formula. Okay. We actually call that the find times fee equals freedom. I'll type that in the chat right now for everybody that's watching. If you're not watching, I'll put it in the comments later. Find times fee equals freedom formula. Okay. And what we mean by that is if you can find a certain number of people to pay you a certain fee every month, you can basically build any kind of lifestyle that you ever want. All right. Now, that formula came from a random discussion that Jocelyn and I were having one time when we were driving from my hometown to her hometown. We were sitting in the car. Jocelyn was driving. And I was really just thinking about different ways to live our life. We had kind of settled into that normal 9 to 5 routine. We were school teachers going to work every day. We were doing our jobs. We were getting paid, that one salary from that one person. And if that one person didn't pay us our salary, we made no income and we couldn't pay our bills, right? Because that's the way you live, right? You go get a job, an employer gives you money, and then you give all your money to all these other people. And if you can't do that, or if you screw that up in any way, then you're done. You can't make it in the real world, right? And I was sitting in the car beside Jocelyn. We were kind of quiet. I was looking out the window. And for some reason, I looked over at her and said, I wonder if I could get 100 people to send me $50. I mean, I wonder if I could just get 100 people in the world. There's 7 billion people on the planet Earth. Like, what if I could just get 100 of them to send me $50? Or what if I could get 50 of them to send me $100? That's not a lot of people. That's only 50 people. Surely I can find something, some way to get, people to send me money like that. And Jocelyn looked at me and said, yeah, but that's not how life works. You can't just get people to send you money. I'm like, no, you got to give them something in exchange for it. But, the formula works. If I can find 100 people to pay a $50 fee, and I can do that every month, well, then that's $5,000 a month. And if that's $5,000 a month, then that's $60,000 a year. That's about what we're making teaching. That's what we're bringing home, right? So, like, we could replace our income. We could quit our jobs. We don't have to rely on a single employer to do that. And the numbers work no matter how you add them up. Like, what if you could get, 100 people to give you $50 or 50 people to give you $100? Or what if you could get 200 people to give you $25, right? What if you get 400 people to give you $12.50? And if you just figured out a way to do that, like if you're making $60,000 a year, then that's the exact formula to replace a $60,000 income. And the numbers work even better if you're making less than that. If you're making $40,000, it's less people sending you that amount of money every month. If you're making $100,000, well, if you can get 100 people to send you $100 out of the 4 billion people that are connected to the internet, or the 7 billion people that are walking around the planet Earth, then you can replace your income and you can quit your job. And it's more of a mindset issue than it is, okay, fine, Shane, that's great, but how am I just going to get people to send me money? Well, you've got to figure out a product. You have to come up with an idea. You have to figure out who that person is and what their problem is. That's called your avatar. And you've got to create a product that you can deliver to them as a solution. That might be a service that you can provide for them. That might be a digital product like a course. That might be a community that you connect them with. That might be accountability through a digital challenge. That might be a service you can provide. I heard an amazing idea earlier today where this lady teaches people how to be second in command of a business, so they can come in like a virtual assistant and take over everything and run things for people like a CEO. What an amazing idea. Like, there's all kinds of ways that you can provide value for that money. But the truth is, in 2019, right now, the internet lets you reach out to anyone else who's connected to the internet, provide value, and they send you money back. So that's really the formula that we use to replace our income. We find X number of people to pay us a fee of X dollars. We prefer doing it monthly. We want you on our monthly recurring billing, so we know we're going to get it every month. And that equals a set amount of money. So when we decided that we wanted to quit our jobs, we just looked and said, we need about $60,000 to pay the mortgage. We need about $60,000 in a year to pay the car payments, to buy the groceries, to get the kids the diapers, to buy food so none of us starve, to stay warm, dry, and fed, right? Like, all of these things and needs that we wanted to replace, that our employer was paying us, we needed to replace that with our 100 people to give us $50 a month. So Jocelyn and I created digital products, football playbooks, lesson plans, how-to videos, and we sold these things for $50. And all we had to do was go out and find 100 people to buy them every single month to replace our income. And we did. But then we realized that this freedom formula was even more powerful, because it wasn't just about replacing our income. It was about believing that we could live any life that we dreamed up. Whatever we wanted to do, we could do it. So after we quit our jobs and we found our, 100 people to give us $50 a month, or our 200 people to give us $25 a month for the stuff that we sold, we said, could this work even farther? Could you stretch this? Like, what if you wrote down the exact life you actually wanted to live? So that's what we did. We don't just want to pay the bills. We don't just want to pay the mortgage. We want to go travel once a quarter, 4 times a year. We want to take our kids to Disney twice. We want to go to the beach twice. Well, how much would that cost? So we wrote it down, right? We want to go to conferences so that we can learn more about online business, so that we can learn more about parenting and homeschool and all of these crazy things that we try and do, right? We need to go out and connect with people. We want to buy some courses. We want to go to the movies with our kids every Friday. We want to do X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter. We just started adding things up. What would be the light? We wanted to drive this kind of car. We wanted to upgrade from our minivan to our Lincoln Navigator, right? Well, how much would that cost? And then we figured out that number was somewhere around $25,000 a month. We looked at it and said, great. All we have to do is get 500 people to give us $50 every month, right? So we started planning out strategies. What problem could we solve that people would pay $50 a month? What courses could we create? What services could we offer? How are we going to market this out there and get our products out there where these people can find it? Oh, easy. We'll just go see what they're searching for, and we'll run ads, or we'll create content to put it in front of them, right? And lo and behold, a few months later, we found our 500 people to pay us $50 a month. And then we said, what if we wanted to double that? Okay, we'll just go find 1,000 people to give us $50 a month, because 1,000 people out of the 300 million people in America and the 4 billion people that are connected to the internet is an extremely small percentage. You don't have to go out and become Coca-Cola. You don't have to become Facebook or some dominant market player. You just need this little bitty slice of the pie to make your life possible that you want, to replace your income, to quit your job, and then find your freedom number that lets you do whatever you want with your life. Okay. So when asked, what's the most important thing we say? What's the most important thing piece of advice that we give? It's that you've got to believe that that's possible first. If you don't do that, you're not going to be able to take the next steps to actually make this come to pass. But if you believe, all I got to do is find 100 people to send me $50, and then I just have to figure out the problem I can solve to get them to do that. If I believe that, it's going to happen. If I believe that, I can make it happen. And whatever my life looks like, when I write it down on paper, Shane, I need $100,000 before I can quit my job, or I need $200,000 to pay the bills that I've got right now. Well, what's $200,000 divided by 12 and then divided by 25? That's how many people you've got to find to join your online community, to join your membership, to buy your digital product and buy your downloads, to get to the number that makes your freedom life possible, that makes your flipped lifestyle absolutely possible. Okay. So again, it's find times fee time equals freedom. How many people do you got to find at what fee per month to replace your income? That's the first number you got to find. Okay. That's how you flip your life. You find that freedom number. That first number is, how do I replace my income? How do I get rid of this one entity that sends me my paycheck every 2 weeks, and I just replace it with a bunch of other people, right? But not a ton of people. That's my freedom number. That's how you flip your life. And then to get to the flipped lifestyle, the lifestyle you dream of, the lifestyle you want, next week we're going to Atlanta. And then we're going to get on it. We were already in Atlanta for a cheerleading competition. So then we're going to go to Mexico. Why not? Doesn't matter. We just pick what we want to do, and we figure out how many people it takes to pay for that. And that's what we go sell, right? That's how you get to the life that you want to live. Okay. All right. So if you got any comments, or if you like some crazy redneck thing that I say, or some awesome Jocelyn bomb that Jocelyn says on the Flip Lifestyle podcast, I'd love for you to put that in the comments below. I'd also love to hear what your freedom numbers are, right? Like, what will it take? How many people would you need to replace your monthly income? If your paycheck's $4,000 and you could sell something for $50 a month, don't worry about what you're going to sell yet. How many people times 50 equals your $4,000 a month salary? If you're making $10,000, how many people times $50 a month would equal that? Tell me your freedom number below. I'd love to help you do that in the comments. Figure out what you can sell, figure out what you can do, figure out your idea, and talk through that with you. But if you can believe that that's true, you will make it. If you don't believe that's true, you're probably not going to make it. So that's the formula. That's how you replace your income. That's the first thing that we grab onto in any discussion we have about money, is how many people times what fee does it take to make that happen. And that's how we quit our jobs. That's how we replaced our income. That's how we flipped our life. So just wanted to bring you guys into that amazing conversation inside the Flip Your Life community. If you'd like to learn more about the Flip Your Life community, go to fliplifestyle.com/flipyourlife. You can also check out our podcast on iTunes. It is the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. We want to listen in every single week as we talk to community members live on the air and help them take their business to the next level. And I've also got a link in the description right now for our next free training. We've got a free webinar coming up very soon, and we would love to have you there, love to have you register and hear more about how we actually go about creating the products and services and finding those customers to pay those fees every single month that make our lives possible. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube so you don't miss a single one of our live videos. Peace.